Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are at the Wildomar OHV park, and we're gonna ride these trails, man. He's gonna whip my ass. Hopefully I don't crash too hard, right? Crash at all. Here we go.
As you can see, I am climbing up this pretty mild hill, but as you'll see in a second here, I end up dumping the bike.
Whoa.
There it goes.
Damn. Beginner's luck.
As you can see, I was struggling a little bit to switch gears from first to second and also have a good enough speed to keep it in second. And that's what I kind of struggled with on this bike. This bike is really set up for the street, not necessarily, I think, off-road, although it can handle some pretty good off-road conditions. Now, as you can see, I am still struggling going up this hill. My main problem that I kept having was switching between first and second gear and keeping the RPMs high enough to be able to have enough speed up those hills.
How are you going downhill?
Probably not the greatest.
The downhill looks pretty easy. Now, basically, when you see those ruts, are you staring at those ruts?
A little.
So just be aware of them, but don't stare on them. The bike's going to go where you stare at it.
This OHV park is a great park. I'm a beginner and a noob, as you can see, but clearly I was still struggling. Now right here is where me and Mark started going down some pretty, not steep declines, but most of this OHV park was up and down. There was constant hills, whether it was small or large. As you can see in the distance, there is a pretty steep hill that we end up going up. I did not even realize how high, we kind of started going up until we started doing it, and that's when my back tire, front tire was kind of going out. One of the main things that him and many other people on the trail were saying is to put pressure in that front tire as you're going up, because that'll give you better traction. I also wasn't necessarily standing up as much as I should have, as well as, again, keeping the gears at a smooth pace. Right there, you'll see that was Tommy T. He's a YouTuber, great guy. Got to meet him on this trail, and he's been doing, I guess you could say, dual sport or motocross riding since he was little. Very, very good.
Stuck in sand. Yeah. It's just getting used to it and experience.
Now, right here is where I continued to go down these hills. They were pretty, I'm not going to say steep, but they just felt steep to me just because I'm a beginner. And the one thing that I will stress is definitely try not to shift your gears when you're going uphill like I did. That stalled the bike because I lost engine speed going up these hills. And that's why I believe that I was going off the side from time to time, slipping out, stalling the bike, etc. Another thing I did also find is that when I would go and try to shift into a lower gear from second, that I would shift into neutral. It would create a false neutral situation in which I would get stuck on a hill and then slide down, especially because the tires that I have on that bike are stock tires, which, as everybody probably already knows, are not the greatest. As you can see though, the terrain itself is pretty rocky and bumpy and not necessarily flat. Right here is where I got stuck. That's simply because I shifted into neutral. I also noticed that I put my feet out a lot. You definitely should not do what I did. Try to keep your feet on the pegs at all times. And also, from what Tommy had told me, is to keep your balls of your feet tucked and turn inwards rather than just keeping them flat. that can save you a lot of trouble when you fall, or if you injure your feet, it's not going to hurt as much. There was a science behind it, but I don't remember all the details at this time. Again, as you can see, I was shifting into false neutral there. Right here is where I believe I may make this hill, or I may get stuck again. I'm not sure. Yeah, I got stuck because I shifted into neutral. I was trying to go into first. And that was Mark, the guy that I had rode with, trying to kind of give me some pointers.
I know.
And I just dropped the bike.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, 250 or
300.
300. Yeah, those over here are really nice. Doing the nailing hill climbs on a CR500.
What's that?
Doing a hill climb on a CR500.
Oh God.
Yeah,
I can barely get up with this.
Huh?
I said I could barely get up with this.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Widowmaker out of Phelan and stuff.
Oh.
Huge hill climbs.
Man.
This is my training area. It's slippery, it's rockery, a lot of ruts, a lot of off camber. I see you're getting a nice taste of it.
Oh yeah, no,
It's really a momentum thing here.
like, dude, holy gym is what I'm used to, so that's nothing.
God, no, this is way better. But this will teach you.
It is, yeah.
It will teach you, and dude, I'm out of breath, but I'm riding hard too. You know what I'm saying? It's that type of place, dude. I don't care how good or how bad, dude. It will give you a rip.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That bike is 300 something pounds. It's pretty light, but again, they had bikes there that were 200 and something pounds. I believe Mark's bike was only 250 pounds, so it had a 50-pound weight advantage over
Good to meet
mine.
you, bro.
Hey, fall over safely.
Yes, sir.
Now right here is where I end up getting back on the bike. Good to go, going around these corners. I believe I get stuck again at some point. And overall, this trail was really, really fun, all these trails. I just don't think for my riding skill level, I have to catch up. I have to practice more and go out here more to do all this type of riding. But to be honest, I want to more so explore, and I feel like this was more of just a track day, but for off-road riding. And it did feel very motocrossy, which I don't necessarily like. I respect motocross, but just because I drive a motocross style bike doesn't mean I necessarily want to be a part of that. I bought the bike so that way I can do more exploring rather than enduro riding, and this felt very enduro riding in nature, which most of the time you'll look up OHV parks and it'll just say, no, they're not enduro related, but to be honest, the riders that ride them, they are.
That's the trail you're talking about that's really rocky.
That one?
We'll make a loop here and we'll go back up.
Okay.
But it still was fun. It was still a good experience. I see myself going out there maybe a couple more times, but I don't think that I would want to drop everything and go do that. And that's kind of the thing with dual sport riding, is you have the enduro aspect of it that you can do, and then you have the exploring aspect of what you can do. Either way, you have to gain some type of skill off-road, but there's better terrain to ride in, like fire roads and stuff that's a little bit less hilly than this, and having to go up technical canals and trails and stuff like that. As you can see, I fell over. That's me getting up.
I'm good, I just fell.
I do recommend wearing motocross boots because, as you just saw there, the bike had landed on my ankle, and I'm so glad that I didn't wear the adventure boots. Now, I didn't spill the bike at a rapid pace. I got stuck and then the bike fell on me, but still, you don't want to take that risk. You have a 300-pound piece of machinery on your leg. It's better to be booted up than no boots, and specifically MX boots are probably going to be the better of the two. The other thing I will say too is that definitely shifting with MX boots, I think, caused some of the problems what I was having on the trail with the transmission. I could have I have to get used to it, but if I had adventure boots, I probably wouldn't have, had so many shifting problems that I did. But also it was a lack of skill and getting over those tough ruts and hills and getting the most speed that you can. I would say for me in the KLX 300, in my opinion, this bike is pretty good between first and second gear, with first gear probably being utilized more. Using second gear, I just found that, you really need to be 20 miles and over. And for me and my skill level, I haven't really achieved that yet. I'm between 10 and 15 miles. So usually first gear as a beginner on this trail for the KLX 300, I think probably will fit you best than trying to shift up into second. That's also, again, why I believe I was making mistakes like that, is I kept trying to toggle between 1 and 2. And really, I could have probably just rode in 1 the entire time and got enough speed to go up these hills and not hesitate. That's another thing I caught myself doing quite frequently, hesitation. Don't hesitate. When you see a rut or if you see a hill, don't look too much at the hill or rut, just go through it. You see it from afar, but don't spend too much attention on it, because like Mark had said earlier in this video, where you look is where the bike is going to go, and that's exactly what had happened. Is I kept looking at all these ruts and all these rocks and all these things, and I wasn't focusing enough on getting over them or just focusing enough on where I need to turn, and I kept target fixating almost on those little obstacles, and I think that's also why that was causing some of those issues. I gotta say though, Mark in general was a great rider. This guy has experience in the past with some type of racing and being around motocross racers, so he really understands how to ride tough terrain and what not to do. Now right here is where I almost feel like I ate shit and broke my neck.
Whew.
And then I hit this bump, boom, hard as hell.
Whew.
That was not good.
Holy shit. That was... Thank God was on my side. Holy shit.
Now what I think I did wrong there is just the fact that I wasn't balancing, standing on both pegs, and trying to put weight into that front tire. Also possibly being in the wrong gear and or shifting into neutral like I commonly would along this trail constantly. I will say though, if I were to bring the CRF 250L or 300L to this park, even with the stock tires, I don't think it would have performed as well as the KLX. The KLX still has the superior suspension over the two dual sports in their class. I did feel that I barely felt anything when I was getting ground on hills or flats or anything like that. That if I were to have that type of suspension that's more soft, it would have bottomed out a lot quicker, especially as you saw on that little hill that I basically bottomed out at.
When you went down that hill, I was like, I took a few seconds, I'm like, right when I go down, dude, I'm like.
When you're going down those hills, are you dragging like in second gear?
Like first, second? I would say second.
Second, yeah. I sometimes am in first and sometimes in second. I'll sometimes let my back.
Now I'm f***ing this transmission up.
Sometimes I'll let my back wheel drag. I'm not sliding my ass end out with my brake. But
that's gonna be a bitch to get back over that hill.
No, well, there's a little steeper coming down, but.
Yeah, and this KTM guy saw me and he's like, "Holy shit, you're gonna."
Yeah, I saw him coming. Yeah. Well, it's all this. Like these little. I like this little woods area.
When we were going just straight, like in those turns, that wasn't an issue. It's just the hills, bro.
Yeah. Coming down, yeah. So if you're not used to coming down hills here.
That's coming up and down, yeah.
The main takeaway that I can say, ladies and gentlemen, is that dealing with ruts, hills, bad tires, slipping, all that type of stuff, it all plays into how you're going to ride off-road. I would say that I really enjoyed this experience, and I couldn't have asked for a better day, better people to be with, and I simply met Mark right off of Facebook group, so it was a great experience overall. And I definitely feel like I will come out and do it again at some point, but for now, I think I'm just going to kind of lay low. Now we head back to the main campground or campsite as I slip right there and regain traction and get back on the road.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, well, I think that concludes our off-road excursion. As you can see, I am definitely a beginner at OHV off-road stuff. Met up with a YouTuber, Tommy T. Excellent dude. Knows how to ride. As you can see, there he goes. Shout out to Tommy. And you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Peace.